In the great depths of the Pacific Ocean, there is a grand processioning this night, as ancient ones, priests of the sacred fire, walk sandaled and robed in white, the breadth and length of the Pacific Basin, under the sea, on what was once Lemuria. Blessed ones, it is an ancient ceremony rekindled by great masters of light, their adepts and chelas. This processioning with torches held is a ritual for the holding of the balance out of our retreat. For I am Surya of the sun, and my son Kuzco does maintain the retreat for the holding of the balance in the earth and in earth changes. Therefore one hears the vibration of peace, the vibration of the Divine Mother. Thus for a holy purpose is there come then those ancient ones you heard describe the march of the Ancient of Days and the armies of heaven in the nation's capital. So it is that much activity does take place at inner levels on planet Earth, for the sealing, for the saving, for the calling home of souls of light, for the finishing that new beginnings might begin. I have come from the sun, figuratively in my chariot, journeying across infinity. I come as always in the fire of the Buddhic mind for the liberation of souls, their liberation to be fully in the highest octaves and in physical matter, the incarnation of God. I am God's awareness of himself as Surya, as the God of the sun radiance. I am part of the light of the central sun wherever life waves receive it. I enter earth then, bearing a momentum of calm and peace, as with peace and aloha we seek the stilling of the mind's agitation, the anxiety of the emotions, that for a moment, in an interval of stillness, some might behold reality, even the reality of our beloved Babaji, who has been suspended within this hall and court for some time, floating in the lotus posture, beaming intense and fiery love. So he has come forth, and has not, as some have conceived, incarnated in recent time. Remaining at the interval and the nexus, this unascended master of the Himalayas does come to demonstrate to you what is the victory of the mother flame, how ascension's flame as a buoyant fount of light may become the lotus pad by the fire of mother rising. Then one can be suspended at her fountain of light, even as there is the sign of Old Faithful, of the Holy Spirit piercing the sky with the fierceness of conveyance of earth's fire, and a transmission then to all of the secret awareness that the rising mother flame and the sacred fire can easily defy all laws of gravity contrived by grave karmic difficulties, born by evolutions benighted and ignorant in understanding, having not then the cubic dimensions that do convey a cosmic approach to life. Passing through, they say, I pass through, and so do you, beloved. We have come from other stars and spheres, and to the central sun, our home, we return. Therefore, to quiet a turbulent earth is our motive. Where hearts are pure, does not purity flow? Let the fount then be purged at its source in each level of awareness. Come, goddess of purity, come, Cuzco and queen of light. Come, goddess of light, out the central sun, out of the ancient retreats of the Andes, across the island chains of the Pacific, around the fire ring. Let there be a stilling. Come, O hierarchs of elemental life. Come, O Rameses and Diana. Come, Neptune and Luara. Come, Virgo and Pelur. Come then, sweet ones of light. Come, sweet ones of light, come. Come then also, Aries and Thor. Release the fullness of mind of God in all quadrants. We set a grid of light on the buoyant joy of the rising of song and praise. We set a course of deliverance and a course of self-mastery. All then are quickened to the awareness in this place of Arthur, to a weariness, an utter weariness of being subject unto the veils of flesh, and the out of control, out of alignment state. So long it seems thou art a prisoner of the vessel, no longer then, for in the twinkling of the eye of God there is a moment of recognition that, contrary to all outer appearances, thou art the master within. Attune for a moment to thy higher being, who is master of life, thy God reality, and then the plane of pure spirit, where I am that I am is individualization of pure God light. You can shimmy up and down this pole of being at will by the mind's flight, by the song of the heart. You need not be encased in form, except in a pendulum swing. As light enters and light is released, therefore consciousness moment by moment may ascend to God and return in such speed of light and proportion of cosmic consciousness as to make one aware continually and perpetually of oneself in a form that is no longer a prison house, of oneself in the higher octaves, breathing, entering into great causal body spheres. I speak to release then the heart of fire of Himalaya, whose electronic presence does radiate through this hall. Lord Himalaya, I salute thee from the heart of the central sun and the God star. I salute thee, O Blessed One and Manu of light, for thy members are ascending, truly those of thy root race. Therefore we come to infire them with a level of permanence that is white light. And this white light shall make permanent every purest thought and virtue, kindness good and deeds well done. Visualize then, rising from you, pink roses of light, signifying the completion of tasks and a light-heartedness in the midst of the weight of world karma. Thou hast no part with it, weary not in being upon it, for thou art always in the central sun, and my angels are beholding thy faces, as before the face of the Father they affirm his holiness in thine own visage. Know this, beloved, that this is not concrete form, but only a mirage in itself, substance worn, as coalesced water, fire, and earth, as air breathed upon it. Thou hast then a vessel for the movement, for the being, for the action, for the glorious creativity of highest manifestation. In the resilience of thy spirit, then, ascend the mountain of God and descend by the suppleness of movement and a poet's heart, capturing delicate strings and sounds and new calls of the new bird not heard in the physical octave. By all these things I convey to you, beloved, a freedom beyond freedom yet known, a coming and a going as easily as thy soul's flight at night to the etheric octave, where the presence of loved ones and so many sons and daughters of God does remind you that whereas on earth there may be those committed to the dark and the dark ones, all of cosmos spirit is filled with endless processionings of souls who by the ritual of their movement sustain thereby the coordinates of the very manifest creation. Out of the ungrund there does come therefore the grund. Know, beloved, that nothing cannot come forth from something, but rather from something grand and glorious there does descend the very issue, the very presence, the very perfectionment and precipitation here and now of the inner glory. Live in this truth, live in this joy, beloved, and therefore the weariness shall take flight, and a crystal consciousness, a rippling of light forms, even through thy present grid of identity, shall provide thy soul with a lilt and a laughter, a steadiness and a sternness, a love unabated, a truth that equates with principles of a cosmic geometry that do define and realign all matter and thy being. Blessed hearts, you appear as naked, thinking that you are but this form. The extension of thy being goes far beyond this physical receptacle, and therefore see how the grid of light of a great blue causal body does surround thee now, as the great divine director does step forth then, to consecrate spheres as fine blue lines of force, establishing a force field whereby the momentum of dynamic decree and the release of light shall be as garlands hung upon a lattice work, and so precise, beloved, as to be an instrument as an Aeolian harp through which the winds do play, and upon which many angels play. Hearts of living fire, it is well to distance thyself for a moment from the political struggles of the hour. It is well to take the great in-breath of God and to feel the expansion of that Holy Spirit within, to know who thou art and who is God, and the oneness of thy life, with purest rose of counterpart twin flame, and all who are a part of Sanat Kumara's mandala as ye are. Let then all who are a part of this community worldwide see themselves as holding a vast Antakarana, as children play with string games upon their fingers and make intricate weavings, so each one of you is a finger in time and space, somewhere on earth, positioned, not by chance, but by love, not by force, but by the divine will, not by cunning calculations, but by the vastness of the eternal knowing of the mind of God. Therefore all become a coordinate, whereby strings of light are strung upon earth. Oh, what joy! For these strings then are of finest chord of light, as harp and violin strings to be plucked, always resonating and sounding a great inner music that does emit from the very center of the earth, and the great causal body formed of the entire spirit of the great white brotherhood, including yourselves, who form a part of the hierarchy of this planet. From the central fire of the earth to the spiritual sun of all serving here, know then that a sound is released, and wherever there is a harmonic convergence of chakras, well-tuned, balanced alpha and omega, spinning centers of light, these sounds resonate. These sounds pass through for the neutralization of all discordant sound in the earth that does drag civilization and children of the sun down to lower levels of non-identity. I come then as God of the sun, expanding sun awareness from center to periphery to beyond the physical planet. I come endowing life and matter with a new impetus of a charging and a charging again and a charging again with inmost vibration to realign, to draw back to the divine rhythm and the divine sound. This is my effort for and on behalf of all light bearers who know me now and see my face as the smiling white fire, blue fire sun, as I beam upon each light bearer of the planet home. So there is the response, and mirrored in my eyes, the soul does behold himself, herself, and I behold my own. Therefore look into the pool of the infinite above you, not beneath. See the divine reflection of thy God. Know then that we who take the dispensations of the cosmic council have studied ways and means to contribute light consistent with cosmic law. Therefore this light does lighten the way of the light bearer, and by its very presence does reduce and reduce and reduce those who are the dwellers in darkness, the bearers in darkness, the servants of darkness. Light then comes, for the expansion of the light-bearer's heart flame, for the diminishing of those who have made non-use of that flame. Therefore, consistent with the judgment of the fallen one, this grid of light of earth is come. Consistent with the assistance to the light-bearer, this grid of light is now intensifying and quivering. Happy are ye who have been resonators of the word in this place this day, by the diamond heart of Moria multiplied, and Mary's thrice blessed in love. Now in wisdom's fount drink, for Maitreya's mystery school is active again, and the Lord, the good cosmic Christ, has come to claim his own, while I busy myself about with my legions of light, the securing of these harp strings Lemurian for a planet, and while priests continue to procession. So come, Maitreya, come speak to thine own. Let them hear then thy song of life, thy sweet mystery, as there is a meditation on the music and the sound of this single keynote.